Tournaments are the best way to keep your players engaged over time, so this feature could not be missing from the quiz zone. Parties that belong to a tournament assign points to participants. These points then add up and make the tournament standings. Each party may be valid for any number of tournaments, from no tournament at all to all the tournaments that you have defined. Assigning a party to multiple tournaments may be useful to have, for example, a small tournament grouping together parties played on the same day, and another tournament that spans over several months. The Tournaments Management window can be opened from the Play menu, clicking on Tournaments, so let's do that. Look here, Play, Tournaments. Let's see how you can create a new tournament. In this window, just click on the Create New button, which will prompt the Tournament Editor window. So here is the editor window. First thing that we want to do is to change the tournament name. So we can call it Tutorial Tournament. Then we can select the score system. You can customize this as we discussed in the customization tutorial video. So for example, I can choose my custom score system for tournaments. The active tournament option is very useful, especially when you finish organizing a tournament. Because after you finish organizing one, you don't want to delete it, but you want to mark it as inactive so that you still have it, but you will not see this tournament as an option when you select which tournaments a party belongs to. So just select or deselect this option to keep a tournament active or not. And then we are going to look at the Share Tournament Management button and all the other functionalities later in this video. Let's now just close this window and we have our tournament saved. Once a tournament has been created, you can go back at any time to edit it. You can do so by clicking the Edit Tournament button here or by double-clicking the row in the table. Let's now go back to the Share Management button that we skipped earlier. This allows co-hosting a tournament with another organizer, allowing both of you to add parties to the same tournament and give players a single tournament experience. With this feature, you may even have a tournament with all parties organized in the same town. To use this feature, you need to be logged in. I'm already logged in, so I can click on this button. When I do so, you get this screen here. So the first thing that you want to do is to specify the shared name of the tournament. So we can call it Tutorial Shared Tournament. And then you can add more teams that have access to the organization of this tournament. So for example, I'm going to say one of the teams that I control, which is called Pankina 85. And this name here is totally, of course, needs to be a valid name and is case insensitive. So I may write it like Pankina or like this, and it still works. I can add it, and then I click on Share, and the tournament was successfully shared. After a tournament has been shared, you can change the sharing through the Edit Share Tournament Management button. This button takes you to this window where you have the shared name. You can add more teams, you can remove teams, and the most important thing is that this window is the only place where you will be able to see the sharing code. So you can click on Show to see the sharing code, you can double click it and then do Ctrl+C to copy, and then you can do Ctrl+V to paste it somewhere else. And this may be like a chat application where you're going to send this sharing code to the person that you want to share the tournament with. And this is the only piece of information that the other teams are going to need to import the tournament. So this is very important. We can now hide it and we can close. Another action that you may take with a shared tournament is to delete the sharing of the tournament. So if I click on Unshare Tournament Management, then do you really want to unshare the tournament? I click on OK, and the tournament is not shared anymore. So at this point, the team that I shared it with is not going to be able to organize parties in this tournament. A shared tournament is made to be imported by someone. If that someone is you, then here is how you can import a tournament. In the tournaments window, simply click on Import Shared Tournament. So in this case, I'm going to paste a code of another tournament that was shared with my user, and then I just click on Import Shared Tournament, and here you have Super Tournament was now imported. I double click on this tournament. Now that we have some played parties in our tournament, we can look at the rest of the window. Up here, you can see that there is this Show Tournament Standings button. So if I click on it, I get this other window that lets me show the tournament standings. So you can see that this window automatically opens the game window. We can move it here so that you can see. And now we can choose how to show the standings, whether with simple view, where simple view is the view that you typically use between questions, so just like multiple rows, or the podium view, which is what you see at the end of parties, which is slower but more dramatic. So let's just use simple view. I click on show standings, and here are the standings of my tournament. The last column is just showing how many parties each team won and how many it played. So for example, admin played 4 parties and won 3 of those. Then I can just click on game window start screen and I go back. So we can close this window. We can also close the game window, and I can show you the rest of the controls in this window. So here we have all the parties that belong to this tournament. You also see the start date of each party. Here you can also add or remove parties from a tournament. So for example, you can click on Add Party, and you will get the window with the list of all available parties. So I can click on this one. I click on Add, and here, well, I have this party which is mission questions, so it will not influence the standings, but it is already included in the tournament. So then I will click on Remove Party, and I have removed it. Then you have the standings of the whole tournament. Then here you can select one party, and here on the bottom left you're going to see the exact standings of each party. And then here is the list of banned teams. At the moment we don't have any banned team, but for example I can ban Pankina 85. I click on it and it appears here. So now you see that Pankina has 0 points, and automatically every other team got the points recalculated. So I can unban Pankina, and points are getting recalculated correctly. And that's all on how you can handle tournaments in the quiz zone.